Everybody, welcome back to the bench. This week we're going to talk about the KAK K-Spec Enhanced Down Vent Bulk Carrier Group. That was a mouthful. I'm just going to call it the KAK K-Spec. It's down venting. I don't own the non-down venting one, so the regular one, I don't own that. I've only tried the down venting. Everybody and their mom has been raving about this on Reddit and every other platform, so I wanted to give it a try. And so I reached out to Brownells. They ended up sending it out, so huge thank you to them. They're awesome. Use code Labor Day 15. I believe their Labor Day sale starts now. Or no, it's not Labor Day. It's LP 15, whatever. LD. I'll put it up on the screen because I'm dumb and I don't know it. The KAK spec has these four little cool ports down here at the bottom, has these dual ejectors right here. It comes with the absolute crappiest springs inside of the extractor here. So if you're looking at this when you buy it, I'd honestly just buy a spring coat upgrade kit and plop that in. I don't know about the ejectors. I can't really say too much wrong about them. Let's get this in focus. They don't look like they're very rounded off. The edges on the bolt face look very good, but the edges on the sides of the extractors or the ejectors do not look rounded off very much. I have put a lot of ammo through this thing in a short amount of time, about 500 rounds. I've put it on quite a few different firearms. I have a 16-inch carbine length gun that no matter what you do is gassy, and that's actually going to get an Adams Arms piston here pretty soon because I was able to pick one of those up for $100. I was running it. I have a 13.9 I tested it on. I have a 12.5 mid-length we tested it on, and then my 20-inch. So those were the guns that we've pretty much run it through. I have not decided to run it in 11.5. I don't have my 11.5 anymore. I have sent it back. My Colt 11.5, I went to go take the muzzle device off, and I completely stripped off the threads. And Brownells has a forever satisfaction guarantee. I tried to contact Colt, and they did absolutely nothing to help me. They said, we only have a 1-year warranty. And I'm like, and then they don't cover you removing the threads on it. So thanks to Colt, no longer buying one of those anymore. Just stick with Brownells parts. They're amazing, and they stand by them. So I think to properly talk about the K-Spec, let's just go ahead and go to the range. We're going to talk about it there. I have quite a few videos of it, and we're going to go through it. I'm going to kind of create my compilation for you guys and put it in here, and then we'll come back and we'll finish it up.
All right, so we have the Sons of Liberty Gunworks. This is a standard bulk carrier group. I wanted to try this on my mid-length 13.9 with a Sons of Liberty Gunworks barrel and the Sandman K. I want to see how the KAK, like how much different it's going to be, especially as a left-handed shooter, but even as a right-handed shooter. We'll test it out. I'm going to put about a half a mag down range really quickly, and we'll see what happens. All right, so I got some gas to my face. We're going to go back. We're going to put in the KAK down vent, enhanced, and we're going to see how it acts. All right, so now as you can see, we have the KAK K-Spec. This is the down vent, so there are no vents here. I have what's remaining in this mag, and I'm gonna shoot some of another mag, and I'm just gonna dump rounds down range again, and we're gonna see exactly how it feels. And I'm loaded this time, unlike last time. Yeah, I feel no difference. I feel absolutely no difference with the KAK versus a standard bolt carrier group on a 13.9 mid-length. And now, granted, this barrel is very, 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 very worn in. So I personally feel like I'm going to need to do some more testing. So far, the only gun I've really liked it more in is the 20-inch unsuppressed. I did bring the 20-inch back out today, and I want to run it suppressed with the Super 42 and all that. So I want to run it suppressed like that and see how it works. All right, so this is my M16A5, a gun that was never actually made, but it is what it is. So I have the Sons of Liberty Gunworks standard bolt carrier group in here with the 20-inch, and then we have the Griffin muzzle device right here on the end. So I'm going to test this out. We're going to go ahead and we're going to shoot it unsuppressed. Now this has a A5A1 in it, an A5H1, and some sort of spring. We'll check it out in a second. I guess I got to turn on my optic. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go take it over to the bench. I'm going to slap in the carrier, and we're going to see how it runs with some ammunition through it with the down vent, because I wasn't getting a ton of gas, but I do know that when I shot it with the KAK down vent, I got no gas. So we're going to try that again. All right, so now we have the KAK K-Spec down vent. We are running unsuppressed with the Griffin 3-prong. All right, I'm gonna test this out. I'm just gonna run about 10 rounds, 5 and 5 on each target, just really quickly. They're gonna see gas to the face. A little bit, like a smidge, but I think it's just what was coming out of the port. Let's go. We're gonna run this suppressed. I'm not gonna change anything. So what we have in here right now is the KK H1 buffer and a green spring. So I'm not changing anything in that regards. We're gonna throw a can on it, the Griffin Recce 5K, and we're gonna test that out. All right, so we've added the Griffin Recce 5K suppressor. We have the KAK down vent, and I haven't changed anything with the A5. So now, just 5 rounds, quick succession, both targets. We're gonna see how this feels. It's a lot of gas in your face. Let's go ahead. We're gonna put in the Griffin. We're gonna put in the Griffin SOB and the Geisley spring, and we're gonna see how that works. All right. So the internet says we have to tune everything. So now we have the Geisley Super 42 rifle length spring, and we're running the Griffin SOB system. So now we're gonna run this, as we can tell. And then for anybody wondering, this all test is done with just standard 55 grain garbage freedom munitions. So 5 and 5 again. Let's do this. Oh, it's still so gassy. I don't care what anybody says, it's so gassy. It also has to do with the can. I think that this bolt carrier group would go great with a flow through or extremely low back pressure can, like the Silencer Co., whatever that Velos LBP, and then like the Huxworks, any one of those flow through style cans. I think this would go great with. But for a standard baffle can that Griffin will tell you is low back pressure or eco flow, I'm still getting a ton of gas to the face, so it's eco flowing right into my mouth.
Hey, me again. So now that we have more ammunition in here, we're going to try this out. KAK down vent with the Recce 5K. And I'm going to not hold my breath on this. It's horrible, and I hate it.
All right, so we have a Roscoe. This is our phosphate mil-spec BCG. I have the Dead Air Sandman K. I'm going to test it for gassiness. Now, normally it's a little gassy, but it's not terrible. So, I didn't get a lot of gas to my face at that moment. So now we're going to put in the other bolt carrier group, and we're going to test it out. All right, so now we have the KAK down vent in here. We have some standard freedom munitions. Now this is the Sandman K. It does have the 30 cal end cap on it. So let's go ahead. A little bit of gas. Okay, so the KAK spec. Now, a lot of people are going to sit here and tell me that, you know, maybe I didn't do enough testing. Maybe I didn't do whatever you want. I will tell you right now, this carrier does enhance reliability. I have noticed throughout my testing that I am getting consistent ejection, which is one of the things that KAK did say. They say you will get more consistent ejection, and that is due to these lovely 2 extractors right here. Those are fantastic, and that's exactly what they're designed to do, and that's how they work. When it comes to the sand cuts in the carrier, I think that is a phenomenal thing. The Knight sand cutter came out a long time ago, and a lot of people were like, oh my God, I really want the sand cutter. And these do work, these do help, and they do what they're supposed to do, especially if you have a really gunky rifle. It will work fantastically. The only other thing I'm going to say is I think the down vents, I wouldn't say they're a gimmick. I do think that they reduce some of the gas coming out, especially the more that I shoot this thing, I do get more comfortable with it. But I will tell you, it's not going to work on every gun. We've run this on a 12.5 mid-length with a Recce 5K. We've run it suppressed and unsuppressed. We've run it in a few different configurations. I don't think that this bolt carrier group is your end-all be-all. Now, what I'm hearing from a lot of people on like Reddit and things like that, and we all know Reddit is what Reddit is, I think that this bolt carrier group is a very, very good bolt carrier group for what it for a lot of the things that it does, but it is not going to cut out gas. If we have to tune our guns to make this happen, to me, that's not worth it.
All right, so we did some live testing at the range. All right, you guys have heard that. We ended up on tuning and all of that other stuff. A lot of people are saying you still have to tune your guns, do all that. Look, you'll always have to tune a gun, and depending on how you run it, what suppressor you use, and all that other fun stuff. Once you set up a gun for one thing, it's going to change when you change the variable. Completely understood. I can't really call this a gimmick. It's not. I think that it works really well. I do like this bolt carrier group. The phosphate coating is really nice. The sand cuts are really cool. The down vent I think is a very interesting idea, and I think it will or it does work somewhat. It may not work 100%, which granted I don't think they were claiming. I do think they were saying a reduction in gas, and most of the time I've been able to get that. On the shorter guns that we've run on the 12.5 mid-length, that one didn't cut down gas at all. We ran that gun suppressed and unsuppressed, and they were both viciously gassy, to your face. And I think that just kind of has to do with the LMT platform, which is a whole nother can of worms that you can get into, which we're not even going to open on this video. When I say that I'm a little more bummed in the fact that KAK sent this out, and when they sent it out, the extractor spring came with a plunger and a donut, and it came with what felt like what's it called? Your bolt release spring. Like, that's exactly how spongy it felt. Like that little spring and that little plunger that go into your bolt release. That's exactly what that spring felt like. It felt like trash to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm saying something that's a little weird. But I just think, if you spend a lot of money on a bolt carrier group, $175, yeah, I realize you're putting in new technology. But the biggest takeaway of this bolt carrier group for me is that you cut corners. And I know that nobody's really going to care about that. And I think that, in the grand scheme of things, everyone's just going to be mad and be like, well, mine works fine. Yeah, it will work fine for a while. But I don't know. I don't think anybody's taken an armorer's course in a while, and I think that shows. But you should probably take one. They're very useful. They teach you all the goods and bads and things that you should and should not have on your firearms and things like that. And I think that that's just, it's something that is a baseline for me. When you send out a bolt carrier group and it doesn't have all the stuff that I want, like, yeah, I can go buy a cheaper bolt carrier group, and I know I'm going to have to change the springs in it. But I spent $175 on a bolt carrier group, and that's how I expected. And I think that was my biggest takeaway and my biggest with this is it just irked me. It irked me in a spot I didn't really expect it to hit until it hit there. So I hope you guys can at least fathom that. I think that's kind of, I'm going to go ahead and say, KAK, I think that you bullshitted the internet when you did that with your springs and your plunger and your shitty spring and all that. So it's just, to me, I'm a little peeved about it, as we can tell, but I'm going to let it go for the remainder of this. I think this is a good bolt carrier group. Would I go out and buy another one? No. The reason why, it's a $175 bolt carrier group. It does really good. Maybe if I had an insanely overgas gun and I wanted to cut down on my 16-inch gun, yes, it did cut down a little bit. Running with a carbine length gas system, it did cut it down just a smidge. That gun is insanely gassy, and it's just going to go to a piston system because I'm not even dealing with that anymore. But I like how this is set up, and I think that this is a good bolt carrier group. If you want to spend your money on it, you really want that down venting, you really want the enhanced ejection and all that other stuff, I think that this definitely does really, really good at that. But other than that, I'm not calling it snake oil because I know I've heard some people say that it's snake oil. It's not. I just think that the propaganda that came out with this, it's not living up to that hype for me. And that's where I'm at. I hope you guys can understand that, and I hope that helps you in your search for a bolt carrier group. To be honest, I'd probably buy a Sons of Liberty Gunworks or a Micro Best. There's some on ARFTAC that are like $139 that are really good, and they come with all the upgraded components, OCKS stuff, all the good stuff that you want in a bolt carrier group. Maybe we could cover one of those at a different time. I think it's a cool bolt carrier group. I'm definitely going to keep it in the 20-inch. I think that it definitely works really, really well in the 20-inch, and that's just where it's going to live. And I just love the 20-inch. I think the 20-inch is probably my favorite rifle. That's just me. But that's my M16A5 clone. That was never made, but I wanted to make a clone of a gun that kind of didn't exist in the first place. That we will cover on a future video. We're going to go ahead and talk about that probably in the next video. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know your feedback down below. Let me know how mad you are. Send hateful comments. All the other fun stuff. As always, love you guys. Be a hoodlum.
Beep.
My little short thumb couldn't reach the safety.
Beep.
Wow, that was terrible.